Hey everyone, Greg Mazza, Homecare Breakthrough Solutions, and welcome back. So today we're going to talk about a process to help you guys identify the biggest bottlenecks in your home care business. What is holding you back from getting to that next level of success? And without having a system and a process for it, we're kind of just guessing. We're like, I think it's this, I think it's that, I think it's that. Having a good process will help you identify where are we relative to our benchmarks, and then what are the primary drivers in the business, and then how do we fix the areas where we're not hitting the mark, okay? So one of the things we do is have a weekly meeting structure. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Why do we do this? I talk to so many home care owners, they're like, oh, I didn't have time. I used to be one of them. I actually did. I was like, oh, I'm too busy. It's the biggest mistake, right? The biggest mistake. I just had a client literally today, was it today? It was today, telling me, he's like, oh, we started doing the weekly meetings, we're following this structure, and it's actually working so much better, things are getting done, and I can tell just by talking to him, I know by the words that he's saying, he's focusing on the areas that is holding him back, and he's making progress and progress. And when you start to actually, not track, when you start to stack the progress that he's making every week, you're gonna look back in 2 months and 3 months, you're gonna be like, holy cow, we've come so far. And this is how this works. You do that in 6 months and 12 months, and you just stay consistent with it, and you will continue to get better and better results. So I'm talking about weekly meetings, right? These meetings provide structure. They provide accountability. It gives a chance to hold everyone accountable for their roles or the things, their part in the effort of how do we push this forward. And in this process, you guys are gonna be better able to identify the bottlenecks that are like, they're holding you back, right? You're doing good here, you're doing okay here, you're doing okay here, but there's gonna be these big bottlenecks that are like keeping you from growing and scaling the way that you want to, right? Once you've identified the bottlenecks, then you guys can prioritize, focus, collaborate as a team and solve the problems. When things get measured and reported, there's a 95% chance that the objectives will actually be met. Isn't that kind of cool? Right? It's like 95% chance that if I measure it and people report it, that it's actually gonna get done. So I'm talking about these meeting level KPIs, and there's a few elements that you wanna consider when looking at creating a good weekly meeting structure. Number one, same day, same time, every week without fail. Do not change it, do not miss it unless there's an emergency. All right, start on time, finish on time. It sets the tone, like we're committed to your time, and we're gonna make sure we stay on point. All right, include your KPIs for this meeting, and they should be more primarily focused in a home care business on more of your sales data and more of your recruiting data, because that is what propels this business forward. All right, number two, did you get to-do items done from the prior week? So when you did your problem-solving portion, did you get the to-do items done from last week? So for example, today, this client's like, okay, we're gonna focus, because his bigger bottleneck was more focused on conversions. He's like, we're gonna do some training around that. They're gonna do 2 different trainings, and then after we do the trainings, we're gonna come back and we're gonna listen to one of our calls, and we're gonna make sure that happens. So he's got 2 things that he was focusing on to make sure he gets done before next week. And if you put something on the to-do list, it gets done unless something urgent happens and or the person has to decommit. Did you provide enough time to problem solve? So once you've identified the data, you've measured the results, you figure out, here's our benchmark, here's what we did, and if you didn't accomplish it, it goes down to your problems or your HIPS list, or what we call the high intensity problem solving section. What areas do we need to focus on because we didn't accomplish our goal? Okay? And then once we've identified our data points, either we hit it or we didn't hit it, it drops down to our HIPS list, and then we start to prioritize. When we get to that point in the meeting, we start to prioritize and figure out, all right, of all these issues that we're seeing, and so I like to say, which benchmarks didn't we hit, and then is there anything else that's bottlenecking our business? And we put that on our HIPS list, and once we know, then we start to prioritize and problem solve as a team collectively, and we brainstorm. We say, what's the problem? How do we fix it? And we start coming up with ideas, and then we start jotting them down, and then we say, all right, these are the ones that we want to do. Can you commit to that? Yes. Can you commit to that? Yes. And that goes on our weekly focus sheet. And when we get to the next week, we want to make sure that those focus items are getting done. Imagine, guys, if every week you're picking your biggest bottlenecks and you're problem solving, coming up with solutions, and then getting this stuff done for the next week. All right, that is how you win. That is how you get better and better results. So hope this was helpful for you guys. If you haven't done so already, we have a guide for scaling your business where we talk about a lot of different things that will help you grow and scale your business. It's absolutely free. You can download the guide below. Click on the link. Hope it helps. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.